Cycle jerks.
Hey, get out of the road, dummy.
Cycle Jerks Podcast.
There we go.
All right. It's actually happening now. Welcome, everybody, to Cycle Jerks Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Stewart, and today we're going to be talking about our experience at Unbound. I've got the Enjoy Cycling team here, Vince Murdock, Jeremy Ferguson, and Scotty Ostrander. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is becoming like an annual thing for us. I think the first time I had Vince on after he did the XL, and I mocked him for doing something so stupid, and then I proceeded to do it the next year.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, you've been along for the ride the whole time, right?
Yeah, you're two for me.
Yes. But yeah, it was just pretty ridiculous this year. And Scotty is the only finisher in the bunch. And I was talking to Scotty before his race, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, it'll be my longest ride by like, I don't know, 60 miles or something this year because he's opening businesses. He's just I don't know how many restaurants he has nowadays, but it's wild.
He's got his work outfit on right now. He's ready to
Yeah, I know, right?
up.
Yeah. Well, you expect nothing less. But he said, it'll be 60 miles more than I've done all year. And then I was thinking, we laughed, and then later I was thinking, well, I haven't done anything even close to XL distance. I don't think ever, except at XL. How about you guys? You guys ever ride 350 miles just for the fun of it?
Nope, definitely not.
No, and everything that I learned, leading up to it, typically don't want to ride over, 10 hours too often just because of the toll it takes on your body. But I mean, we rode 200 miles. We did the Davis Double again, which was, made sense. But we also, I mean, we did a solstice ride earlier in the year in the winter. I think we've had multiple days, both of us, over 10 hours that made sense in terms of what we were getting ourselves into and what we were going to look like out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first year, last year when I did it. Prior, I did like a 16-hour day where
Yeah.
I rode all over, and then I just thought, well, okay, I'm not, I haven't done the whole thing, the equivalent, but I felt like I could keep going.
Yeah, no, it's something,
Yeah,
and that's kind of one of the things you want to find out is like, if you make it to hour 10 or whatever, it's like, how are you feeling? It's you
yeah,
either know like work needs to be done or you're like, okay, this is doable.
yeah.
So yeah.
It's kind of like a fueling challenge, right? Like, just can you drink enough of the sticky, sugary stuff, but without getting your stomach messed up, and then
I would
balance.
argue, yeah, I would argue that that has been my biggest challenge since entering this space. Probably the first time around, I never really knew how to eat. I just kind of went by feeling. And when I learned, digestion rate and carbs per hour and stuff like that is when I really started running into issues with my stomach just kind of giving up on me, which happened more often than I care to admit. All the time, every big ride, my stomach seemed to give up on me, and yeah, that seems to be the real competition these days is figuring out how to get your stomach to cooperate so you can keep going at a familiar pace.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it was like the gas station food, like the pizza, like the real food that you can get while you're out there seems like that really helps kind of reset your gut a little bit. So I like this, that's my experience.
I, I would agree. I think Fergie kind of we both took a good bite of pizza. I think I had a sandwich, like a one of those pre-made sandwiches they had in there for you got a Casey's pizza, and we were nervous, but yeah, no, it actually seemed to work, and
Yeah.
it tasted really good. So
Yeah. How about
yeah,
you, Jeremy? You get into the gas station food at all?
Yeah, I'd planned to not, so I had carried all my nutrition like from the start, which ultimately I kind of regret because it was just like I ended up getting like sick of gels probably within, 10 hours, but I had
Yeah.
20 hours worth of gels, but with no real, ability to eat it after 10 hours. So I was just stuck with all this extra stuff. And then after 10 hours, yeah, like the pizza started sounding good. The kind of the real food
Yeah.
just seemed to be the right choice. Then this year was, obviously a little different because we were able to slow down, heart rates were dropped, and eating that type of food just seemed to work better for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When I did that, that's, whoa, when I did that 16-hour, you know, the year before, I was coming into Danville and I was going really slow. I was kind of feeling like my gut was weird. And, and then I, there was a McDonald's. And I got this weird idea that I was just gonna have a double cheeseburger because I felt sick and I felt all sugary and chemically, and I just
Hmm.
wanted it. Ironically, I'm gonna eat this chemical cheeseburger from McDonald's, but it sounded right, and I was doing like maybe 16. I wasn't really going very good. Had
Hmm.
that double cheeseburger. And man, it gave me everything I needed. I was all the way home, I was doing like, I don't know, like 20, 22 miles an hour. And that's when it like occurred to me like, oh, sometimes you can be a little unorthodox, I think, and you just listen to what your body's asking for and probably be
Yeah,
still
I
doing
think
well.
at that point, going for like a satisfaction bomb just
Yeah.
for the pleasure of it is, a mental side is a huge part of it. That
massive.
alone.
And I think protein too, protein's
Mhm.
probably, pretty good when you're going that long, you
For
know.
sure. I think the more like when your engine gets revved up so much, like your body wants like substance. This is just my opinion, but like I've heard my stomach growl with 120 grams an hour carb mix after 3 hours, and like I just feel like the stomach wants something to break down. It needs substance in there. It's tired of gels, at least me personally, and it's tired of all the goos and you know what I mean? Like you're turning things over so fast, your stomach kind of almost acids like want something to to turn over. And so I think that's where your Mickey D's kind of comes into play, where it has a job to do, 'cause it can go to work on something.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's check in with our food correspondents, Scotty Ostrander. What is your take on this?
I don't know, man. I don't think I've ever done an event over 12 hours like with like an Ironman, and Vince could probably chime in on this better than I could, but I think if
Dude,
you're
I'm
in like a
on
zone one
200.
two rate or something like that, like you could probably survive better off gels. But if you're a higher heart rate, like zone 3, 4, your body's probably using up a lot more nutrients, so you probably do need something more substantial. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've never gone on an event and had a cheeseburger in my life. Sounds great, but like the sodium is probably really good too, and
Yeah.
something that dense. But yeah, I don't really have too much to offer on that.
All right. Well, look, let's get into it. So, okay, this year at Unbound, do you guys have any idea how many athletes competed? Like,
No,
it's
No.
mind-boggling. So,
thousands.
the giant, yeah, the company I work for, they're a lifetime Grand Prix sponsor, and so we had this wrap up that was sent to us from our marketing person, and it had all this information. It was really interesting, but there's 5,634 athletes that
Jeez,
competed.
man.
That's crazy,
Crazy.
right? I mean,
Crazy.
Yeah.
it's big when you're there, but man, that's a lot. And then
Yeah.
48 countries represented.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Pretty sweet.
that's really dope. I was in a group of, It started as 12, and we had somebody from New Zealand. There were two guys from Australia, and there was a guy from Colombia in that group. And
Nice.
we were
Yeah.
doing this rotating thing. And but man, this girl from New Zealand, I mean, she was a speed skater. She's from, I mean, she was killing us. But we were going so fast, like every time she'd take a pull, it was like, oh no. You had to go catch her. And then and every time I was like, is this worth it? I'm killing myself. I still have 200 miles to go. And but it was so good because you're just covering so much ground so fast. It's like you didn't want to pop off the back. But we ended up, that group of 12 ended up being seven, and we worked together. I think we rode probably 40, 50 miles. I mean, it was like we were really working well together for a long time. But okay, so this year, so 2015, notoriously the mud year. I think we can say 2026 might be the new mud year.
I say we petition them to bring the name Dirty back into the name of the race. Like the
Dirty
old school.
Unbound.
Yeah. The race had the name Dirty in it for a reason, you
Um,
know.
okay, so as I mentioned, Scotty was the only one who finished. He did the 100. Us three knuckleheads did the XL. None of us finished. Did when you were sitting on that start line, like I was supremely confident. There was no thought. There's no way I'm not going to finish. Did you guys have that same kind of confidence, or?
Uh, I did after
I
finishing
mean,
last year.
yeah, the sun was out. There wasn't, a cloud in the area. It was we were cooking. We had ice packs on our neck. Couldn't fathom running into, you know, what we ran into, to be completely honest. Because we had no signs of it. We pre-rode the course every day. We never saw that. We had ideas that mud would exist out there, but not to this degree, not like, maybe you can drop some photos of what what it was like. But yeah, I feel like my experience was much different than all three of your guys's, to be honest.
Is that right?
I would say so.
How so?
Well, I'm not thrilled. I'm not super stoked. I've yet it's been 2 weeks. I rode my bike for the first time yesterday. Um,
Whoa.
I put a lot of energy into this event. Um, and I guess I'm bitter for a lot of reasons, but it just ultimately I think I'm mostly just mad that I wasn't able to finish, right? Like I think I think it was preventable. I think they could have rerouted it. I think you know, like they had the whole week to know that those roads were unmanageable. You got 300 plus riders regged for a race and nobody can finish it. Like um
Yeah.
I get it, it's an adventure, but it's like I trained all year to race my bike, not hike 20 plus miles. I think we got into the mud section at like mile 206. I think when Fergie stopped his computer, it was like 2:30. Now there was like times we were on our bike in between there, but we were walking for almost eight plus hours. Um, yeah, man, like I don't know. I hate
Yeah.
to sound kind of like bent out of shape, but it's like we spent so much money just to be there,
Yeah.
and I'm not someone that quits easily. Like I'm you know I like to consider myself a tough person, and I went out there, and I'm not much of a walker. I don't practice the art of walking, especially in carbon shoes, and the bikes are they have frame bags in them, so you can't really shoulder them. Um, and I don't know. The toughest part is that we made it through all the fucking mud. Like that's the worst part about the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
But we spent more than 8 hours. So when you said that when you cut it off at whatever time it was,
Yeah.
we didn't get picked up till about 11:30, I think. you know? And so, and we were still another at least probably 8 to 10 hours out. And I just like, you know, my taint started to really hurt and my feet were sore. I just gotten a flat. We just went through that. And I think my mental energy and like my frustration was just at an all-time high that like it got the best of me and I'm not proud of it. And I think that's where my frustration comes in because I hate not finishing and I would like to find an excuse not to finish, but it doesn't really I have excuses, but it not finishing is still frustrating. And I think it was completely preventable or avoidable on the promotions side. I mean, you're telling me, was it 40 or 50 people finished? I was in my bed. I woke up Monday morning in my home, in my bed, and Unbound's posting their last XL finisher. You know,
Yeah.
like like I don't know, man. That's not cool in my opinion. They that's a cool moment for them, but it's just like, no, man. People spend a lot of money to do this, and I get that it's an adventure, but at what point, like I don't know. I don't know. Now I sound bitter, but
I think, look,
yeah,
Vince, I think a lot of people who entered probably have a similar take, right? Where, like for me personally, I know like I've never voluntarily checked out of a race. That's
yeah,
never happened, and I did it, and it doesn't sit well either with me. But I'll tell you what, when I was at I checked out at the gas station. That I
yeah,
think it's 216, and then so there was somebody there, and they said, "There's another 15 miles of that stuff ahead." And I was just like, I didn't even have to think about it. I'm just like, I'm not doing that. My feet were killing me. Like you, I mean, I'm old. My feet, and I don't hike or walk I mean, come
yeah,
on. I'm there to race a bike. I'm not there to hike a marathon through the mud,
yeah,
And so it took me an hour. I don't know how long it took you guys, but it was like a 3 mile section of mud, the first section, and it took me almost an hour and 20 minutes. And I was in a really good position in the race prior to that. And people were passing me left and right in the mud because
yeah,
I was doing such a terrible job at it. And what happened was I came, that hill, the first hill is where it really I called it Peanut Butter Hill. And I came around the corner. I had broken away from the group a little bit because the previous rest stop, it was dumping rain. People made different choices. Anyway, I was kind of there were three of us and I was in front and I come around to that hill and there, I could see three people up ahead and they were all bent over, just like ripping mud out of their bike, right? So I immediately decide I'm going to shoulder it. So I don't have a frame bag like you do. So I put the bike on my shoulder, my jacked up, messed up shoulder. Uh,
yeah,
but I put it on my shoulder and I start going and I wouldn't say I was running. I was jogging and as soon as I hit the super slippery shit, my right foot just slipped out like I was on roller skates or something. And I just
yeah.
went face first right into the mud. And I mean, I have hearing aids. I
Oh
got I
man.
got mud in my nose. I got mud in my mouth and it's on my face. It's on my face so thick. I take my glove and I wipe it like this and my whole hand is full of mud that came
Cow
off my
shit.
face and I just go and threw it on the ground and then, at that point, I couldn't do anything. My hydration pack was
Oh,
covered in mud, and I got mud on my hands. I got mud on my face. I got mud on my water bottles. I hadn't. There was no way I could even do anything.
yeah,
I grabbed the water bottles, kind of sprayed my face, and tried to wipe my face, and then I'm just wiping mud all over the place. And dude, I
yeah,
mean, to me, it's almost like that's where it ended for me because I went from having a good time to like, oh,
No.
F this. That was kind of my mindset. And then
Yeah.
once I realized like I couldn't shoulder the bike, the bike was super heavy, and then when it fell on me because it was carrying so much mud, I got up again, and then I slipped again, and same thing, and then finally, I went off to the side and got in the grass and kind of tried to, and I was shouldering it for a little while, but then my back was just killing me, and my feet, my feet were just on fire.
I
And
did
so,
tell you you need to start getting into the gym. Remember, I think I said that before the race. I was like telling you need to hit the resistance training.
yeah, yeah,
But I didn't know it was gonna come into play during the race, so
yeah.
that wasn't what I meant by that moment. But you can
Yeah, I was
tell.
really surprised at how heavy the bike was, but we
Yeah.
had been riding and the tires were super thick and mud was just flying
Oh
off for
yeah.
like the longest time. But there was so much more mud on my bike and my bike was just super heavy and
Yeah.
you
We had a
couldn't get
lot
it
of
off.
problems with the drivetrain. So before we even got to the mud, we must
Yeah.
have went through a puddle or something because like
It was a thunderstorm.
yeah, yeah, something. And Fergie's his chain comes off first, and then like I'm looking at the thing, and we're only like want to say like less than 10 miles out from the next aid station. So I was like, here, just like fuck it, just use all my water, you know. So I'm using all my water. We get his chain back on, which it was weird because it was like dirty, but for some reason, or it wasn't super dirty. Like it didn't stand. I mean, we've rode in full on mud before, and cross races, and chains have popped back on easier. This would just not like settle in. But anyway, I used all my pack water for his thing. And I was like, sick, let's go. And then, like, not even a mile later, mine pops off, and now I'm out of water. And so, yeah, it was just, and that was like the first real, like, mechanical that was just kind of frustrating. I think we got past a few times, which at that point, you're not like super worried. You can kind of, claw those people back. But it's always a little bit of like, not disheartening, but like, you know, that plays a role every time someone passes you. It's just like you son of a, you know what I
I
mean?
know.
So,
And
um,
not when you're riding your bike, it's when you're hiking and doing
oh
this other
yeah,
crap. It's like, okay, well, you're a better hiker than I am.
yeah,
You
woohoo,
win. After a while, I'm just like, here, go by. I don't, I'm
yeah,
not into it.
yeah.
But yeah,
uh,
when the guy said there was another 15 miles, I started doing the math. I'm like, well, it just took me an hour 20. I think it was about 3 miles. So I'm like, oh yeah, no, I can't do this. How about
yeah,
Scotty on the 100? Did you get like I saw some footage of like the 200 people, and I know I mean, they were going under that section where it was 3 feet deep of water. Did you in the 100? Did you have to do any of that? Did you guys get good weather, or how was the weather for you in the mud?
About 10 miles in, the thunder and lightning started, and it started raining, and I kind of just told myself this is going to be a long day. And mile 22, we went into that 3 mile stretch of mud that was kind of a small, like 1-2% grade. And it rained pretty heavily during that time. So it was just kind of like a mud slop fest. But we'd ran into a little bit of mud around mile like 14 or 15. And I kind of got a bunch of stuff on my bike, and I cleaned it, and I was like, okay, every mud section beyond this, you just got to walk it and protect the mechanicals. And I think that's the worst case scenario is if you do get a mechanical, it makes your whole day a lot tougher. And so I was just like, walk the bike if you got to, and protect it, keep it clean as much as possible that you can. And that worked out. But the mud sucked. Yeah, it was about 6.5 miles roughly total through the whole 100. But we didn't have that tunnel that you saw with the deep,
Okay. Yeah.
which probably would have been nice actually.
yeah. But clean
Right.
your bike off.
Yeah.
Just clean everything off. The prior year, uh, I crashed a couple times and there were like these big puddles. Like you get used to just bombing through these puddles, and then all of a sudden you hit some puddle where it's like, oh, this is really deep. And then you catch a rut or something and I just fall. And the mud was, so I felt like I had experienced the peanut butter mud because you always hear about the peanut butter mud.
Yeah,
And I thought, oh yeah, well, it got me, I flipped over my bars at this. But no, no, I didn't experience the peanut butter mud, not until this year. This
Now
yeah.
you
year.
have.
Oh my God. So Jeremy, now were you able to so Vince had the flat and couldn't get his drivetrain going. How was your whole experience?
I think for the most part, me and Vince kind of had our own experience through the mud because we just had different moving paces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different bodies.
I knew if we separated, we'd wait up at an aid station or something like that. But really, as soon as we hit the mud, we were just both locked into our own paces,
Yeah.
just trying to move through it as best we could. At one point, I totally lost track of him and thought he was behind me, but he was actually hiking in front of me. And thankfully I kept moving and didn't, stop too long and look backwards, which I was doing, thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to wait. Nope, he was moving right along. Like you, I was also didn't run a frame bag, so I was able to do the cyclocross shoulder technique, which was helpful for me. I thought I was able to keep the bike fairly light when I would get the mud off of it, which was helpful. But yeah, it was crazy out there, just listening to the moans and groans, and everyone's kind of suffering as we're out there all together. Just everybody's just like, just like going through it. Nobody wasn't. Everybody was having a bad time. Nobody was enjoying it.
We had this one guy, and in both years we've had pretty cool experiences with people we run into, and but this year, I think his name was Dave. He couldn't wait to tell us his name. His light had died, and so he wanted to ride with us. And me and Fergie we were going at our own paces, and so this guy was like flipping back and forth between my group and our group and whatever it was. And by some point, me and Fergie caught up, and I was like, "What'd you think of our boy Dave?" And I was like, and I was like, "Oh, he was, interesting guy." And this guy couldn't stop farting. He just like was farting the whole time, like a cow. And I said that I was like, dude, like, what was up with his farts? He like just didn't think nothing of it. Like just because we were out here, it was just okay to just rip it in front of each other. And yeah, Fergie's like, dude, I know what is like. It was just weird that we both experienced it because like he had left and went with Fergie, and that guy was still just farting away. Like not just to know that like he never stopped.
Oh
I don't know what he was eating, but it was there was
Beans.
some of those. Yeah. It was so funny. I just remember like you're like you said, you're like not defeated, but you're just like walking through this shitty section. And then like you're on the grass section. Just think, man, he might be on the other grass section, and it's just like just like and he's like making groaning. He's like motivated, like, oh yeah. Like I'm like, what the heck is going on? I
Yeah,
couldn't
that might
even.
actually have helped me because I had like a full-on grown man temper tantrum. Like,
Maybe
and
you just needed a fart.
yeah, they were like, I needed a fart. Fart would made it a little bit
Yeah.
fun. But there were like three people like around me when I had this meltdown, and I just screamed, "Fuck!" I was
Yeah.
so mad, and then I was kind of embarrassed that I like lost control like that. And then the one guy goes by, he goes, "Exactly, you nailed it." I was like, okay, well, yeah, but man. Yeah, so I don't know. So I think, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, right? We're all still alive. We got our humble pie. So now it's like, are we going to go back?
Yeah. So we've kind of slightly discussed that. Me and Fergie haven't seen each other since the event, and I saw Scotty yesterday, but I think it's too soon for me to make any decision. I'm not stoked to go back. I feel like I'm beefing with Lifetime a little bit, or Unbound, I should say, and I wouldn't be stoked to come back. And one of the things I noticed when I got back was the perception of the Unbound event was not what it seemed like for me. So you would get online and Instagram, and you would see all this like, oh my God, you couldn't have missed this event. It was a must be at event. I didn't get that experience. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a terrible whatever, but it was just painted in a way that like that's not the experience I had out there. You want to show up to a race where only 40 people finish? Fucking okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, I
Um,
mean, maybe the 200, it seemed like the 200
yeah, no, maybe,
racers really fared a lot better, even though they
yeah,
were covered head to toe in mud, but
yeah.
it didn't
And
seem like
again,
they faced the peanut butter like we did.
yeah, and maybe that's the issues. Just the event itself was a different event. And Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like part of me is kind of over it. I noticed that 2 years ago I knew my goal was to place better this year because I knew every year that I was coming back that the competition in these larger ultras was getting more popular and my chances to do better were getting smaller and smaller. I'm not an endurance guy. There, like in terms of genetic makeup or muscular build. So I was someone that kind of muscled his way to the finish line, and so I felt like if I could just get faster in some areas, that like I could slowly work my way up to like a top 10, finish, and that was kind of what I was hoping for this year. And it's like again, every year the field is getting more legit, more athletic, more whatever, more deep. And so yeah, it's like, what do I take this whole year and dedicated to one race again, just like I did last year, just to a more dedicated field. Like it's just a tough endeavor. I mean, I don't need very many events to tell me how tough I am. I would go find another one if that was like what I was trying to do. Like the first XL, I would go find another version of something that's super tough, other than trying to just genuinely just do better than the last time. And who knows? It's just too early to say because I'm an angry individual, and so I wouldn't be stoked to go back, man. I'm not. I wouldn't like it. Wouldn't right now if you said like, "Oh, you're not going back next year," I'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah. Well, look, you're taking a little harder than I am, and I don't know about how about you, Jeremy? What's your thought on it? And I understand it too, by the way. I'm not saying anything about how you're
Yeah.
taking it. I'm just saying
Hopefully, I
you're
don't
taking.
sound like a huge crybaby, but I mean, what
No,
is what
no,
it is. Like, I'll
it's
fight
not.
you over it.
It's not a takeaway. Yeah.
I think I just have more respect for what the event could be. I think like the idea of a 30-hour day was like, oh man, that would be, pretty crazy. But then to actually live it and to see what it was like, okay, like I don't think any of us were mentally prepared for, 30 plus hour outing with
Yeah.
the expectations that we were trying to go sub 20. So yeah, I have a lot more respect for that course. That's for sure. And like Finn said, there's if we want to do hard things, there's a lot of other cool events. But yeah, now we know fully what Unbound, could be about.
Right. So how about the question though? You back for next year?
I would go back. I would go back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same. I feel like I'm going to go back. I think I learned. I made some mistakes. I sabotaged myself mentally once I went face first into the mud. It was kind of over at that point. I had mud on my hearing aid. I was worried about my hearing aid. Did I just ruin this? And
Mm.
then, on my face. Anyway, I just checked out. It's just like, okay, I just went into survival mode. I just got to get to that next rest station. I'm going to get some pizza and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to evaluate it. And then when the guy said it was another 15 miles, I was just like, okay, this is easy. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but the whole ride back,
Mm.
in my head, I'm just like, I was just so mad at myself for just being, like I don't like what Vince is, like just
Yeah.
wrestling with this whole idea of just, I, I always think of myself as being strong mentally,
Yeah.
and I unraveled mentally, and that pisses me off. So I feel like I have to go back to kind of prove to myself. I mean, I'm not
You
necessarily
left a
prove to
piece of
myself.
yourself out there.
Yeah, but I want to just go do it and just, yeah, maybe it is
Yeah.
to prove to myself. I haven't really thought about it like that. But, Scotty, you crossed the finish line, and crossing that finish line is something that's a big moment. At least for me, when I crossed the finish line the first time, that was a big moment. And I just felt like I really did something like, even for me, I've done a lot of really crazy, hard, long stuff, but that was out of pocket for me. And I did it. And I crossed that finish line, and that feeling, that sense of accomplishment, and I don't even care where I placed or whatever, it was just like I did this. And so, Scotty, you of all of us, you experienced that again this year. Your 100-mile ride was no picnic, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The halfway point, I actually called our friend Tony Marengo, who was riding along, like filming Jeremy and Vince. And I was asking him like, hey man, like give me some positive vibes, like how the boys doing. And he's like, oh, they're sleeping. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we just got back and they're passed out. And I was like, okay, what? Okay. Yeah, I understand. Maybe you can come pick me up because this fucking sucks.
Oh
He's
shit,
like,
you didn't cross the finish line.
well, yeah. And I was like, come pick me up. And he said, it's the war of attrition, chef. You got to finish. And I just went, okay, there's nothing to be said about that. And then it became a mission of just like, all right, well, you have to finish. Like, I didn't want to, but you had to. And there, I did the 203 2 years ago, and that was more of an experience, I think, crossing the finish line, especially because like Vinny and Ferg were all there when I crossed at like midnight.
Oh yeah.
So the 100 was just like, it wasn't as meaningful. I'll be honest with you. Like, it was just like, hey, get it done, get it over with, and then go eat some food and get back to Sacramento. It really wasn't like I didn't have that feeling of like, oh, this is a momentous crossing the line. It was just like, thank God this is over.
Yeah, and Mike, what you said is like the idea, like when you're part of you when you're out there and you're doing the hard thing, that's kind of what draws you to it. So there's like a sense of accomplishment of like man, I just hiked all this mud. I gotta finish now. Like, we had said, like, this ride was so crazy. We went through a thunderstorm, a full lightning storm. People were pulling over because of that. There's a lot of other things that had taken place, and where you were just like, dude, this is gonna be at the end of the day, like, even though this sucks right now, you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, this will be so sick to say I completed. Right. So that was a lot of the motivating factor for me. And and like you said, it's like you want to be able to, like, when you said like you consider yourself mentally tough, and it's like you want to be able to check that box, but it's just and you, many ways you did, but like that's the tough part, is like when you didn't finish, you weren't able to check that. So it's like, I don't know, that was what was tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think anybody that's ever voluntarily punched out could relate to that, for whatever reason, no matter what it is. Yeah, yeah, kind of like I'm not gonna say haunt you, but it's just okay, now I'm capable of this, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And I mean, it's just frustrating because it's like you have every intention to do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? At least like that's what I have.
Yeah, me
And
too.
that was like I'll just keep going forward, just keep going forward, just keep going forward. And that was kind of what replayed in my head, and it kind of almost many of these races, to be honest, is what plays in my head, is just like, you know just keep one foot in front of the other, always moving forward. And yeah, in like in a situation where forward doesn't seem like like progression anymore. It's frustrating. Like I said, this whole frustration, it's like, it sounds whiny, and then that makes me mad, because like ultimately I'm just upset that I didn't finish. Would I have felt better if I had finished that day? Maybe. Part of me still thinks I'd be upset, to be honest, but who knows? I'd probably be singing a different tune if I finished. And you know um
Right, you get on the other side of it. I remember I was at this
yeah.
gas station and this woman came up and they were like the shuttles were just starting to pull up and she's like, "What's all this?" And I said, "Oh, these are shuttles." And I said, I'm done." And she's like, "What's the point? You signed up for the XL."
Whoa.
Yeah, she was like kind of aggressive about it, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm over it. I'm getting in. I'm done." And she's like, "Wow, I don't even get it." And she said that as she's walking off, and then this other person comes over to me, and he says, "I think she might get it." As she proceeds, because a person who was there telling us that there was 15 more miles of peanut butter ahead, they were gone.
Yeah.
There was somebody from Lifetime there, and they were saying that there's 15, and so I just I don't know. Maybe she finished. Honestly, I
That's
don't
I
know.
would
I
like
don't
to
know her
know
name or
because if
anything,
she,
but
yeah, if she says that, I'd like to know
uh,
if she finished. But then it's another part. You're telling me that Lifetime had shuttles
yeah,
conveniently placed after the first mud section. It's like they had enough resources and time to utilize other roads, like or reroute you. There were plenty, of course. Like we were out there. I can tell you that there was plenty of roads to pick from.
yeah.
And yeah, that's just frustrating, man. Like I get making it hard. I like hard things, so it's like by all means, I'm not saying don't have mud, but man, like
Well,
that, like
it is part of the lore of the race, though, right?
and
Like
that
I
turns not
remember,
into a race. That's an adventure. That's like, you know,
Survival.
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Well,
not a race
I think that's
anymore.
part of the thing that draws so many people to it. So like I remember well I first learned about it. It was the Dirty Kanza, right? And
Sure.
it was in Dirt Rag magazine. I don't know if you guys remember that, but Yuri wrote this article. He won in the mud year 2015. He won it. And he wrote this article, and he's a good writer anyway. But the piece was all about the mud and dealing with all this stuff and the mental uh, you know, challenge of just being put in this terrible situation and just having to come up with solution after solution after solution and just constant. Anyway, the way that he wrote the article, and at the time he won, I think he was 40 something. And I read it, and I was a little older than he was at that time, but it was like this old guy won this race, like it really like put it on my radar as like that's wow, that's cool. Because it's always like these young, racer studs that win
Yeah.
this stuff. And here's this 40-year-old dude that won this with the 200-mile race.
Yeah.
And so my introduction to the Dirty Kanza, which I never even heard of that before I read this article. And then I read the article, I was just like, man, that's nuts. 200 miles in the mud. Oh man. And but then, 10 years later, there I am. And I'm doing I think because you did the 350, and I was like, I said, we were making fun. I was cracking jokes, basically
Yeah.
busting your balls about it. But that made me want to, after giving it a lot of thought, I read the article in Dirt Rag, and then you did it. You were able to do it, and it was like, man, I want to try to do that. I want to try to prove that to myself. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I think it's a fine line, right? I don't think because I mean, I would never want to replicate what we went through, but at the same time, it's like that's kind of part of the event, right?
Yeah,
You
but I
know, when
mean,
you sign up, there could be peanut butter.
I understand. Trust me. I think there's a good call for sections like that. It really shows your versatility. But you know what I mean? Like let's just go towards the pointy end of like a Lachlan or some of these other guys. Let's not even Lachlan. He's more of a racer board, but like some of a person that actually does ultras. They come over here from Europe. Um,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're looking at this as an ultra and an event where they're gonna stay on their bike. You know.
yeah.
Like, and I think that's like, at what point is Unbound, you know, an adventure ride, or is it an actual like race that requires you to utilize an ultra, like show up with fitness and a gas tank, not a Swiss Army knife and survival skills. Um, so
Right.
I don't know. I do think there's like a part where it's like, yeah, like it plays to be, a physical person in the mud so you can, holster your bike and, take the wear and tear that other riders can't handle as well. Um, but I mean, I don't know. Only way I'm coming back is if I get Scotty to sign up for it and I get one more guy to do something like that. And then maybe you could fucking bring me back
You want
out
to get
for it.
Scotty to sign up for the XL? He has like what 10 businesses now? How many restaurants do you have, Scotty?
Five technically.
Five. Five restaurants.
Yeah, one's
That's
one's
so
coming
nuts.
this month.
Yeah.
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 I'm kind of an off the couch guy right this moment, but the boys keep me accountable in a small way, and you can look forward to the stoke factor of once you're out there. It's a lot of fun. You're around a bunch of people. You get to see all the friends, and
Yeah.
there's nothing better than that.
Yeah. Well, hey, while we're talking about friends, how about Tony Marengo, huh? Dude, that guy just brought the stoke, and he's I just anyway, I just really appreciated Tony at the event, you know.
Yeah, he's kind of, a guy that I lean on for his energy.
Yeah.
I met him when I think he was like 19 or 18, and I watched him mature and just watching him grow up, and somebody who I think has a lot of spirit for his community and the people he's surrounded by. So I knew he was somebody that I wanted out there to just kind of lift our energy up, and just always kind of be a part of what we're doing with Enjoy. And he's like a huge part of that.
Yeah.
He's not always pinning on a number, but he's representing the brand probably the most, I would say, sometimes on the team. His
Yeah.
he's a
Well, and he's
character,
an
man.
adventurer,
Yeah,
right?
a
He
real
does
one.
these, I mean, there's no race, no event. He'll just
Yeah,
get on his bike and just take off towards San Francisco and,
yeah.
and he's gone for, 4 or 5 days in a clip or whatever.
Yeah, we
Um,
should have brought him for the phone call, because I mean,
He's in the wilderness right now. He's like in desolation wilderness, unfortunately.
yeah.
yeah, I would love to go over to Majorca with him sometime. That
You should. We should all
seems like a
go.
pretty awesome trip,
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever considered that?
Oh yeah, every year.
Yeah. Has it happened yet?
I mean, I don't know. Time will tell. If my money looks a little better at towards September or whatever, maybe.
Well, you're so if you decide not to do Unbound, not the end of the world, there is that track in Girona. I mean,
Hmm.
that would be a lot more expensive to get to, but honestly, it sounds more like an event that would be more suited to me because more of a climber. I like climbing,
Hmm.
and there's a lot more climbing in that event, and so it seems like that would be something cool to put on the radar. But I just don't know what it would cost. I mean, logistically, it's probably I don't know. I'm going to look into it.
Yeah,
So
put it
that
on the company card.
might be something to consider.
Tell Giant they need to
Yeah.
they need some representation in the ultras out there.
Yeah, seriously, right? Yeah, even with all the, the bummer, when we were in at the night, you guys, you have a film crew that's filming you guys, and you got some great shots of the lightning, but it was crazy how much I never been in that much lightning in my entire life, and it was all night long, and it was like one time it's like the sky's purple, then next time it's pink, and then it's teal, and then it's just black and white, and it was just going off everywhere. And I just kept thinking, like, this is so cool. This is an amazing experience. Like, who's experiencing this other than the people in this event, the 377 of us that did that event, and then I was also thinking though that does not bode well. That there's all this lightning happening, and there was no thunder really. Like I didn't hear thunder for most of the lightning, and then all of a sudden it seemed like we were getting closer. We were riding closer to the lightning, and then all of a sudden, now okay, now I'm hearing thunder, and then it's like thunder and lightning. This is going to get bad, and
Yeah, it was
yeah,
on us for sure.
it
I
sure
was I
did.
was I was shocked. I was just expecting Lifetime to be at that next aid station saying, "All right, guys, we're shutting it down." Like
Yeah,
it's just like
right.
lightning is striking right next to and on top of you guys. It was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. It
It
was
was
crazy.
beautiful, but it was definitely moments I was like, Vince, like we're going into it now. Like this is legitimately like we're talking safety concerns here, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
What
well, I wouldn't let myself think like that. I was just like, whatever, this is what it is. But when you remember the stop at 163, there was like I don't know if it was a church or something, but they had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the tent, somebody was selling some food.
Yep.
Hmm.
Like a
Yeah.
food truck.
So that was at mile 163. Unfortunately for me, the rain, the intense rain started at mile 160. So I knew this rest station was coming up. I didn't know what it was exactly. But I rode 3 miles it was coming down so hard. Like I could hardly even see That's how bad it is. I can't really see anyway, so there's that. But with all the rain, it was just like, oh my God, this is insane. I've never ridden through anything like this before. And then the tires, like I said, the tires were just getting thicker and thicker, and it was just like, oh shit, maybe I'm gonna stop, you know? But I was with I had two other guys that were with me at that point, and somehow I don't know if they pulled off and got under a tree or something, but I kept going. So I came into that rest stop, and as hard as it was raining when I'm at the rest stop, it even came down even harder while I was there. And so I was just standing underneath the thing. I was cold too at that point. I was, so I'm shivering and eating, snack bars and whatever. And but I waited. So some people came into that rest stop, and then they're just like they grabbed some food and then they just went out. I was like, you guys are nuts, you know? But yeah, but then like I was only there maybe 5 minutes, and then it let off, and then I started going. And yeah, but yeah, man, it's
Was
nuts.
that at like midnight that started pouring and grazing? Like, was it like
About 1
towards
a.m.
the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 I woke
because
up and was like, dude, this is insane. Like, you guys are going through some serious shit right now.
yeah, it was,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was like I don't know, maybe it was like maybe 4 in the morning, something like that. Does that sound right to you guys? I
Yeah,
think it was.
I think that probably was another wave.
Yeah, that was another thunderstorm. We had
Yeah.
one before we got to the mud. Like
So
a
you guys were ahead of me for sure. Not even debatable. But first, I got how you have the tracker, right? The GPS
Mhm.
tracker. And uh, so my buddy Scott Campbell, he was following the whole thing, and he said I was in eighth place when I punched out. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's right. And then he sent me the screenshot, and it's a tracker, and it says eighth place. And I'm like, eighth place for old people? But I'm not in eighth place. There's no way. So, because I remember I asked somebody, yeah, we were at that gas station where I punched out. And I said, and somebody's looking on their phone, and I said, "Hey, can you look up Vince and Jeremy?" And so they looked you guys up, and you guys were like in 18th and 19th place.
Mhm.
So it doesn't make any sense. Like something was off with the tracker. Tracker had
Mm.
me at eighth place at the gas station.
Stick.
Yeah, that was a mistake, right?
Mm.
But yeah, and so yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up, but it was just weird. But if had I had known, or had I had this false belief that I was in eighth place,
That would have kept you going
maybe I
forward.
would have kept going
Yeah.
because it's like, what? I'm in eighth place? Man,
We
everybody's
knew
just dropping
we
like
knew
flies.
we were in about 20th, and it didn't do much for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Someone
Well,
was
hey,
talking.
let me have this fantasy in my head, okay, Jeremy?
Yeah. Eighth sounds better though. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I mean, even Vince, listen, it was terrible. And you guys made it way, I mean, if I did the 8 hours plus of it, maybe I'd be in Vince's headspace right now. But I mean, that experience with all the lightning and the people when we were in that group with those people with that one New Zealand chick that was just killing all of us. And she was built like a linebacker, by the way. So you want to talk about just like really messing with your mind, you know, because it didn't make sense, right? I mean, we all ride, and
Mm.
there's a particular body type that's usually the one throttling everybody. This gal, this gal was a different body, and she was throttling all of us, and it was just weird, and yeah, she was relentless. And we got into the rest stop at 163, and I'm like, "What is your deal?" And she's like, "What?" I go, "You are so strong." And she's like, "Oh, I was a speed skater." I was like, "Okay, well, whatever." But man,
Vince,
she had a motor like unreal.
I
Uh,
think
I think
science
she
is.
punched out also though
Oh
at the
no.
gas station.
Dang.
Yeah. And you know the weird thing with the Unbound, to your point, Vince, about Lifetime. So I think they just hire these local dudes, you know. So there's this old guy, and he's driving this Jeep, and uh, so there was somebody that came earlier, picked up the four people that were in front of me that punched out, and then so that kind of made it in my mind. It was like, oh, I guess this is a possibility. And then I was just like, yeah, 15 more miles, I'm punching out. So then we called the number. So there were three of us sitting there, but I made the phone call on behalf of all three of us to the number that they give you. And then the guy shows up in this Jeep. And at this point, I'm done. I want to go. So I put my bike on and I sit in the Jeep, and then he's just out there just talking. All these people, like, so then I mean, it's been like a half an hour. I'm sitting in the Jeep, and the other guy was sitting in the Jeep too. I'm just like, what is going on here? And so then we get out, and then the guy driving the Jeep, he says, "Oh, well, there's another shuttle coming with the van that's going to pick up the rest of these people, and then we got another Jeep, and we're all going to meet here, and then we're going to shuttle you guys in." And
Mm.
I'm like, hey, I don't want to be disrespectful. You got a job to do, but what's the point of us waiting? Like, if you take us, you can drop us off, come back, maybe get more people. He's like, oh no, we all got to meet here. We all have to, we're all meeting here. I'm like, what? So we end up waiting for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half for
And
all these
no,
shuttle
yeah.
vans to get here.
And you're in all that
And
gross.
then they all get there and then everybody loads up and then we get in the thing and then we start growing. I'm just like, what is happening here? This is like a lunatic running the asylum or something. I don't know. Yeah. So that never made sense to me. And I didn't want to be mean or,
Yeah.
rude or whatever, but I was kind of pushing the envelope a little bit, I must say, about maybe being a little disrespectful. And then I was just like, okay, well, I'm just along for the ride. Shit, this guy's driving me. I'm bitching out on the whole thing, so I can't really complain. So that's kind of my I resolved myself to that. But yeah.
Do they
All
on
right.
the
So
350? Do they
well, yeah.
give an option for getting picked up on the 350, like an emergency, like
Yep.
whatever? Or do you guys have that?
Yeah, there's a phone number they give you.
Oh, the like all the other races, they have like for especially for age groupers, you can pay money, and if you have a mechanical or you need to bail on the race, they literally will come out and pick you up from your location. I
Yeah.
didn't know that, and I saw a bunch of people doing it, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like that sounds amazing right now, but like there was people on the side of the road. I was like, "You good?" Like you always want to ask somebody, like, "Are you good? You need any help?" And they're just like, "No, just wait for a ride." Where the hell are you getting a ride from right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a
Can I
service.
wait with you? Well, it's a good thing because you persevered. You got it
Yeah.
done. So
Yeah.
maybe if you had known that
Like,
or had that all set up,
no,
maybe
that
you
costs
would.
money, dude. Yeah. No
Yeah.
way.
The other thing that was interesting is like when we started, you start Friday at 3 o'clock and it was hot. And I know at the very beginning, because I was getting texts and I was like in 54th place or whatever, right? And I was fine with it because everybody was going way too fast, at least in my mind. I can't do that. So I'm not going to even try right now. I'm just going to settle in and just get in that diesel mode and I'm just going to do it. And so, but what I was seeing is there were a lot of people that were in the lead that were on the side there were people on the side just puking. Like they got dehydrated or something. And there must have been like maybe 4 or 5 people that I passed that were definitely in the elite group or whatever, probably riding with you guys that had to punch off the back. And there were guys laying on the ground. There were two guys,
Really?
yeah, laying on the ground. Like one guy was just like holding his head. And I was just like, you guys all right? And he was like, oh, we'll be fine.
Mm.
And then another kid was puking on the side. So yeah, so the humidity is just weird. Like you got everything. You got the humidity, and then you got the rain, you got the lightning, the thunder, the mud. We got the whole experience. I mean,
Yeah. I ran out of water super fast on the start. Like I ran out of pure water really fast. I remember running into you in the
yep,
group
that's
and
right.
Yeah, he was
I
like,
called it. I said, "Hey, this is the only time we're gonna be riding
yeah.
together, probably."
You're like, yeah, you're just like, I want to say hi because this will probably be the last time we see each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
Could
like,
be taken either way,
yeah,
but you knew how I meant it.
yeah, and
Yeah, you were gone.
but
Yeah,
yeah, no, that the beginning of the race was lightning fast, and it definitely caused me to run, through all my reserves before the first aid, which was like at mile 67, I think, or something like that, or maybe 70.
yeah, that sounds
And
right.
we wanted to skip the first aid station, like thinking like, it'll probably take us 6 hours, to get to the first aid the one that we wanted to stop at like mile 100. But I mean, it was so brutally hot and fast that we had to like, I went through all my water.
Yeah,
Like,
that was my plan too, and I did the same. I
yeah.
stopping. I looked at the stops. I'm just like, oh, I don't need the 59 miles or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's where I was
just
like, I'm
blow
not
right through
stopping
that
for
thing.
that.
Yeah,
2 hours into my race. What are you talking about?
yeah,
But it
right.
turned out to be like 3.5 or whatever it was. And I was like, whoa, you
Yeah,
know, and I went through all my water.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right. So you mentioned you've been on the shelf since you're just kind of in a funk. Jeremy did Lost and Found. Uh, totally unfazed by the whole thing. He's like, whatever. I'm just keep on trucking.
Yep.
How did Lost and Found go?
It went well. I did it with two other buddies. We kind of kept it at like a casual pace. But I will say, from like an event standpoint, Lost and Found is like done what I would hope Unbound would do, which is take a look at their course and take a look from the feedback from a lot of the riders and choose, the best that's available instead of whatever they did this year, trying to make a point of the course, their 20th anniversary. It felt like they put us through knowing it was potentially going to be that way. But yeah, Lost and Found, they have a beautiful course out there. This year especially was just A plus plus, probably the best gravel loop, that I've
Cool.
ridden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Scotty? You got time to ride the lake?
I got out last night for after work at like 6:30 into the night time for I don't know 37 miles or something. I did the river ride on Tuesday immediately after with Jeremy. Probably more or less just to move the legs a little bit, but yeah, not no races or anything.
Yeah. So, Vince, you and I have been going through something kind of similar physically. Uh, and I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of I mean I feel weird talking about it because I don't want it to come back. But I'm on this 8-day run right now where I'm feeling pretty good. I've ridden every day. I've been putting in some big efforts,
Yeah. It's just a
but
rut, man. And you're on the
my
other
power's
side.
still down. Power's still down, but the energy level's coming back, and I am incrementally getting my 20 minute. Not like I'm trying, but my 20 minute. It's getting better. So. I'm hoping that I'm out of the woods with the whole thing, and but yeah, let's definitely keep the communication going. I'm gonna do Whoop has that expanded blood panel. I'm gonna do that and just see what comes back to see.
Yeah, that's actually a good use of its functions.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're out there and you're a young person, don't waste your youth. That's what I'm saying. As you get older, it's just it sucks. And I don't think of myself as an old person, but I am definitely old. My body tells me otherwise. So even you can have a youthful spirit, but father
we
time is
we Me and Tony listened to something during the trip, and I forgot what it was. It was some guy that was he was asking advice from strangers, and he said the one thing that he picked up on was is that when he would always ask older people um what their regret was, and the regret was always wishing that they did more when they were young. And so he came to the conclusion that his like life's motto is going to be like live like I'm old.
yeah,
And so he's like live like an old person that hasn't done a lot of things. And so uh that kind of really stuck out to me, and me and Tony been kind of going back and forth with that. But it's just like, yeah, man, like, if from that thought process, it's like live like like, like they say, like live like today could be your last day, but similar mindset, like live like you're old,
Yeah.
So if you were old, what would you do?
Do you guys know that guy Jesse Seitzler? He
Yeah, the Instagram guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he has this whole thing about the Misogi, like put something on the calendar every year that's just like crazy hard.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you have to focus everything towards doing that. And
yeah,
then, but he's also got a lot of different things. Like he counts his summers,
yeah.
like,
He's a good follow, man. Yeah,
right? So you start thinking about like, I'm 60, so you think, okay, what do I have 20 good summers? Because 80, you see 80's not looking so good.
yeah,
So maybe I got 10 good summers, right? So you start thinking about life like that, uh,
yeah,
puts things in perspective. And when I came home, my wife was like, why do you do this stuff to yourself? Like and I'm just like, she's like, well, you're not going back. There's no way you're not going back. I'm like, yeah, I'm going back. And she's like, why? I go, how many more years can I possibly do stuff like this? Who knows? But I'm
yeah.
going to get like, I want my body to be completely just ruined. When
No,
I finally get put in the box, I want it to be like, damn, that dude just, yeah, his body was wasted.
yeah, no. Part of the whole thing is to like use your body's functions and get like squeeze the most life out of things. And it's like I think a lot of people have different definitions on what it means to actually like live or feel
Yeah.
alive or be alive, right?
Yep.
For me, it's utilizing like the energy in our body, like it's your human potential. And then it's like if you have that, if you have these abilities, or it's like if you can do these certain things, you should try and maximize those until like find those boundaries and limits. And then you want to test them. You want to find them, then you want to test them just to prove to yourself or them or whoever that more things are possible. And yeah, I mean that's just what it is, man.
Yeah. I mean, Scotty's living it right now with restaurants.
Yeah,
Well, dude, you know who was out there was the last couple years is Matt Accarino and Chris Cosentino.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you know those guys and they're
Yeah.
chefs and they're a little bit older than me, probably by like 8, 9 years or something. And they are a goal, like their lifestyle of how they're able to train and do these events is definitely a goal for me professionally and personally.
Got
And
it.
I applaud those guys for, putting in the work and doing it. And I think, as you get older, that becomes more of a focus for you or more of a goal is to, get to that level. And I'm not speaking out of turn when I say everyone in this chat right now is probably going to be those guys at 80 trying to do an Ironman or, trying to do some hard ass event because that's living, right?
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's all good fuel for the fire. I saw Constantino at Sea Otter this year, and we did like the KDX group ride, started at Captain Stoker, and he showed up for that. And he's done some stuff with us over the years. Like we roasted a pig one year at Sea Otter, and fed our follower, people that are into Giant and our dealers, and he drove this crazy killer old bus thing. It was like, anyway, so he's done some stuff with us over the years. So he showed up on that ride. And so he's like, hey, man, you doing Unbound again? I said, yeah. And I go, how about you? He's like, nope.
He did Lost and Found though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. No, he's into it for sure. I haven't really run into Matt.
Matt's a beast. He's on the team Hincappy and he
Oh, wow.
races elite level. So he
Yeah.
did the 100 and I think he got second on the podium.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
he's just really good. Yeah.
At Lost and Found?
No, at Unbound.
At Unbound. Okay.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the
All right.
100. Yeah, he crushed.
All right. Okay. So what's next on your guys' radar? You got anything for the rest of this year? I know, Vinny, you said you put all the emphasis into Unbound. That's the big event. Is there anything else for the year?
I think I'm going to focus on the team and our brand. I think I'll probably take some time off of events for a while until I figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
Find another adventure or hard thing that checks the box for me. So right now I'm regrouping.
All right. How about you, Jeremy?
I got Leadville in August.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's one I want to do for sure. Now, have you done it before?
Nope, first time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious if you could do it on a gravel bike. Seems like you should be able to.
They don't allow drop bars anymore, but yeah, like my dad used to do it, and he did it on a cross bike back in the 90s, on, little 33. So yeah, it can be done.
Damn. Dad's a savage.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta get Papa Ferg on the pod.
Talk about
Yeah.
Leadville.
Seriously, man. Yeah, I'll hit you up about that. How about you, Scotty? You got anything on the radar?
I'm
Get a
committed to
restaurant?
Ironman Santa Cruz. A
Oh, okay.
70.3 Ironman will be my first one in probably a year and a half to 2 years. So, looking forward to getting ready for it, and then hopefully that's kind of kicks off the stoke factor of doing them more frequently again. And
Yeah.
yeah, it should be fun.
When is that?
September.
September. Okay. Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, Vinny, you mentioned your clothing, your brand, getting the brand going, and you guys, you're new in the space, really. I mean, it's been a couple years, but you're
Mhm.
now really, it seems like you're really bringing a lot more drops to the table. Although, yeah, you're constantly innovating and coming up with new product.
Yeah.
Um, and so you want to talk about that a little bit, the process and where you're at as a company and
Yeah, I mean, it really started out as kind of a message to be worn, and then it's turned into kind of a team that is, that kind of drives the message, and then it turned into a brand that I'm hopefully, I've put all my energy into one thing, and hopefully this is the next thing for me. Um, yeah, we're taking on custom orders now, which are really cool. So if like you're a team out there that wants your own, race kit, we can handle that. And then yeah, enjoycyclingclub.com. We got new stuff coming out. We got even more new stuff, for the fall and probably a midsummer drop. We're working on a new skin suit, which is I think going to be really cool for cross. But yeah, those are, you know, just working on all the things, man. I've always kind of loved clothing and fashion. And when I, first got into cycling, I personally felt like there weren't enough options for opportunities to look cool on the bike. I thought there were a few far in between. And there were options and they were very expensive. And even then, it's like you could take a gamble on your Rafa or whatever it was at the time. And it's like you could still be let down. But the jersey is $200 plus, but it's like, and then you could get it and then still not really like it. So it's I don't know. I felt like there was a space for innovation in there, and I still feel like there is one. I still go on these group rides. I still see the majority of people out there, and I see some unique combinations out there. And it's like I don't know if there's just a cheap cyclist or it's like these people just choose to look a certain way. That's probably the most difficult thing. I go out on the trail sometimes, and I'm doing a lot of my research, and I see a lot of the older people that were cycling before me, and it almost seems like they choose to wear these older style kits with all of the NASCAR look and just shit everywhere.
yeah.
And, it almost seems like you couldn't persuade them otherwise. But again, that's kind of what I set out to do was bring a little more lifestyle apparel look to to the cycling scene and better fit. That was the one thing that I struggled with early on was like fit. I didn't like pockets sagging down to the butt, and like I just saw all sorts of things that I thought I could change. And
Yeah.
here I am doing the thing myself. Started in my living room, just got our first office space, kind of warehouse space, a big space, and slowly chipping away at all the things.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had a bunch of the stuff over the years and even during the development stages,
Mhm.
but the stuff was always super stylish, but like it's also like the latest thing that I have from you is the like the green bibs with the camo.
Oh, we got way better stuff now.
Wow, I'll tell you what, that's like my favorite kit.
Yeah.
So I think it looks good, but it's like I really like the chamois and everything. I mean, it's one of my favorite kits. So yeah, so if you haven't already, check it out. What is it, joycycling.com? Yeah.
Cycling club.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. And it's not just stylish, it's actually really comfortable too. So yeah, feel like a PSA right there. Okay. All right. Listen, usually we got a little bit long here, but I appreciate you guys so much. And we ride together. Sometimes we've worked together in the past, and who knows, maybe in the future again. We'll see.
Never
I'm not
know.
going to quit trying, but yeah, really appreciate you guys making the time, and yeah, we'll see you out there on the trail somewhere.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
All
Mike.
right. Yep. Take care. All right. And Vinny's out. And
Yeah.
Scott's out. Hey, you think your dad would be into coming on?
I think if I'll have to run the IT for him, so I'd have to like get him over here. But yeah, I could make that happen.
How old is he?
He's 63, but he's just yeah. He's done Leadville 10 times, and so I grew up going to Leadville, and like that was our summer, one of our summer trips. Was
Yeah.
just going to watch him do the thing, and that was always his big race. He was just Leadville. That's actually all he did. He didn't really race, but he did Leadville every year.
Yeah. So, and did you ever do it as a kid?
No, I don't. I think they had an age restriction of 18.
Okay.
And then back then, yeah, I was just focusing on cross. Don't even know if I would have been into a 100-mile mountain bike ride at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I knew you were a junior racer, right? But
Yeah.
not on the
No,
mountain.
I started super young. Like my dad got me into it. I was like 9 when I did my first cyclocross nationals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been going for a while.
That's cool. Well, here all these years later, and now you're going to do your first Leadville. That's pretty
Right?
cool.
Yeah, I'm
is your
excited
dad
for
gonna
it.
come join you?
He's gonna be watching the dogs this year, but yeah,
Okay.
I'll have Lauren out there with me.
Yeah, well, yeah, put it out there, see if you'd be interested. It'd be interesting to talk to somebody that did something like that so long ago, and that that could be something really fun, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, okay. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
All right, see you later.
Appreciate it, man.
Bye.
If you like what we're doing here at Cycle Jerks Podcast and you would like to support us, please check out our website at cyclejerkspodcast.buzzsprout.com. Hit the subscribe button. We shout out all subscribers, so get on it. Another way you can support the podcast would be by giving us a 5-star review on whatever streaming platform that you're listening on. We appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Cycle Jerks.
Hey, get out of the road, dummy.
Cycle Jerks Podcast.